Everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Skylab Flight Systems video series. I'm Kevin. Episode 2 is actually supposed to be the continuation, part 2 of our review of the T580G by Lotus RC, but Mother Nature has thrown a curveball, and today we've got some winds that are hitting 40 miles an hour in gusts and averaging about 25 to 30, so rather than try and fight that, plus fight the wind in the microphone, I decided that I would do a quick little show for you guys that I thought I would dedicate to the new people to the hobby, because I don't feel like you guys get enough attention. So I was new once to this hobby, and there were some things that I wish people would have taught me, although I experienced it on my own, and I'm okay for it, but it's always good to give back to the hobby, and I love this hobby a lot, so I want to give back a little bit. So I want to do a show today, and I'm calling it, things that I'm calling it 5 things that an RC newbie needs. Everybody in the hobby, they acquire a bunch of tools as you go along, but there are five things in particular that are in no particular order. And this is all my opinion. I want to make that clear. This is not law. It's not written somewhere. And if you don't go by this, nothing bad is going to happen. But, pardon me. There are 5 things that every RC beginner should have. The first one is a multi-charger. Most of you guys are getting into this hobby buying an aircraft that is ready to fly. So everything that you need to fly is in that box, including the radio and a balance charger for the battery. Well, that's fine, and that will allow you to balance your battery and to keep it for a decent amount of time, but it takes forever to charge. So do some research, look up some of the different models available. This is what I have. I've had it for 5 years now. It's maybe 5 years, I guess. Anyway, it's a Chinese copy. It's called Thunder AC6. It's a 2 to 6 cell charger. I can charge basically any battery that's out there. Lithium ion, the NiCads, the NIMs, the LiPos, etc. Most of the new chargers come with a balance board. And the balance board looks something like this, and it's what that little white plug that sticks out of your battery, that's your balance port. And what that allows your balance board to do, when you plug it in and you plug the charger in, it allows the charger to charge each cell equally. It's similar to, that's what your simple balance charger that you have now is doing, and that's great. But a multi-charger will allow you to do things like discharge, so it will properly discharge the battery to the recommended setting, and then charge up from there. So you're cycling the battery and therefore extending its life. So that's one thing. The balance port. Make sure that the multi-charger you're getting has a balance port. The other thing that it's going to have is a bunch of harnesses, probably 3 or 4. With different types of leads on them. One will be, say a T connection. The other will be an XT60. I went out and bought, it's a 19 or 20 in 1 charging harness. And this thing has basically almost any connection that's being used out there today on it. Because the manufacturers of the aircraft and the manufacturers of the batteries can't agree on what should be standard. Batteries come with all kinds of different connections, and the aircraft do as well, so you're going to have to mix and match, and you'll add to that as you go along and as you add aircraft and batteries to your collection. So that's the first thing. The second thing I would suggest that everyone get is a tester, and this is particularly helpful for those of you that have multiple batteries. When you go out to the field, you take all your batteries with you, and some of you may not keep your batteries separate as far as what's charged and what's been depleted. So a real handy way of making sure that you're putting a fully charged battery into your aircraft is a battery checker tester. It also uses your balance port. You plug it in to the appropriate spot, and what you get is a reading showing what each cell is charged at, and then an overall. There are other settings on this, but those are the most important. This lets me know that where this battery is at in its charging cycle, so I don't have something embarrassing like I put a half-charged battery in my aircraft and have an accident because I thought I had more battery. Another thing that, moving on, number 3, and this is probably one of the better things that you could buy, even as an experienced hobbyist. It's called a low voltage alarm, and what this does, again, it plugs into that balance port on your battery, and it's programmed to go off using beeps and flashing LEDs. This one is anyway, at a voltage that lets you know that you are dangerously close to depleting your battery and it's time to land. They make different ones. This one I bought at Hobby King. I bought my tester there as well. But this one I think was $2.25. It's a very good insurance policy, and it's cheap. I mean, they make different ones. They have ones with LCDs that allow you to program them. I do use those as well. I have one that allows me to program up. I always err on the side of caution, and if it says low voltage is 3.6, then I say 3.8 to allow myself some cushion. So that would be number 3. Moving on, number 4, and this is probably debatable amongst those of you that are experienced, but you've already got a radio probably with your first aircraft, and that's great. And you're probably used to it, and it's fine. But if you decide that you're going to stick with the hobby and you're going to get into it, you're going to find that if you don't buy your own radio, you're going to end up with a collection of radios, and that's really not good. And you're spending money that you don't need to spend. You can go out and spend money on your own radio system, so you can start buying your aircraft almost ready to fly, or plug and play, as they say, or receiver ready. So myself, and I said this in my first video, I'm a Spectrum fan. I use a DX9 radio system. I really like Spectrum. They're very, very easy to program, very easy to set up. The new DX9 has the talkback feature, so rather than looking down, it's going to tell me when I'm getting dangerously close to low voltage on this, or I've spent however much time flying, etc. And that's all fully programmable. You can actually turn it off too, so you don't have to use it. Some people find it annoying. I like it. I like not having to take my eye off my aircraft when it's in the air. Now, the other reason that I like Spectrum, because Spectrum receivers, which would be your mate to your radio, Spectrum receivers can be kind of expensive. I believe an 8-channel is somewhere in the neighborhood of $125. That's a lot of money for just a receiver. Yes, it's important, I get that, but again, it's a lot of money. There are other options out there. For example, Orange RX, they make a group of receivers that are compatible with Spectrum and JR. They are far more affordable. Again, they're available on Hobby King's website. When they're in stock, they're very popular. I've never had a reliability question with any of the Orange receivers that I've used. I use 9-channel and 8-channel and 6-channel receivers from Orange all the time, and I have never had a failure to date. So let's hope that keeps up. You're going to have people that tell you, don't buy Orange. They're not reliable. For every person that says that, there's going to be at least another person that says the exact opposite. It's going to be the same thing with the radio. People are going to tell you don't buy Spectrum, buy JR, or buy Futaba, or buy... That's all a preference thing, and you develop your preference on your own. You do the research, figure out what you feel is going to work best for you. Pricing will play a role in it as well. And don't be afraid to barter. There's a lot of bartering going on in the RC hobby, on forums like rcgroups.com. Definitely should join that. So that's number 4. Number 5, basic hand tools. If you're gonna work on your aircraft, you're gonna need basic sets of hand tools. The one thing that I find that I use the most are hex keys, and they're almost 99.9% of the time they're metric. So buy yourself a good set of metric hex keys, starting at 1.5 millimeter and going up. I actually bought these from a member of RC Groups who has color coded them, and he changed the handles a little bit so that they're a little bit better. But now I can look for these based on color. I can correlate the color to the size, for example, rather than looking for the black hex key and trying to figure out which size it is by sight. So it's kind of convenient. Those are the 5 things that first come to mind that I think that every RC beginner should have. And I feel like those 5 things will allow you to do a lot in the hobby. To conclude this segment, this episode, I want to talk about 3 things that you cannot buy, but you definitely need to be, well, just in life and as well as the RC hobby. The first thing is patience. These aircraft are mainly made in China. The instructions that you get are going to be spotty, and the English very bad. So be patient. Be patient and stick with it. If you get frustrated, stand up and walk away and give it some breathing time. And then come back to it, because it'll be worth it in the end. Moving on from there would be experience. Experience is something that you can't buy, and you can only get from doing. A lot of people are of the mindset that you learn from doing, which is absolutely true. But you can also learn from reading. I suggest no matter what you're looking at buying, you research it. I'm one of those people that I want to know everything that I can know about the product that I'm going to buy prior to buying it. I want to know what the problems might be. I want to know what the good things might be or not be. You know, I research it, and I want to know. I also rely on the forums. I am a member of rcgroups.com. They have a section for every RC hobbyist out there. You know, air, land, and sea. And the members on there are great. A lot of those guys have been in the hobby for, some of them longer than you and I have been alive. And a lot of them are very willing to share their experiences or answer questions that you might have. And a lot of those questions are probably already answered. Once you become a member, if you do a search, you can do a search for all the different subjects in the different threads, etc., and you'll probably find the answer you're looking for without even having to ask someone. So I would definitely go there and check that out. The last thing that you can't buy, and you absolutely have to have, respect. You have to show everyone around you respect, especially when you're taking your aircraft out and you're flying. Be respectful of where you're flying. I know that you guys have seen the news stories of the guy that crashed his copter here or there. You know, poor judgment. It was just poor judgment and a lack of respect for his surroundings. So, you know, respect where you're at, respect the people around you, and respect the surroundings. So you don't have a nasty accident. And you know, part of that respect is you're going to want respect, and respect is definitely earned, and it's not given. There's a certain amount of respect that everybody, I guess, technically gives to one another, or should. But certain level of respect, to get to that level, you're going to have to earn it. And one of the ways of earning that respect is by showing others respect. So, you know, go out to the flying fields and be respectful of the people that you would call old timers or whatever. I call them the experienced guys that could be your next guru. show them respect, and by doing that, you're going to earn theirs, and they're going to probably share a wealth of knowledge. That's it for this episode. I hope Mother Nature is a little bit better, and we can get some flying time with that T580G from Lotus RC, because right behind it is the T600G from Lotus RC that is going to be next on my review list. It's going to be more of an aerial photography ship, so I'm real excited to get that in the air. I think with it I'll be testing Lotus RC's own 2-axis brushless gimbal. So I will see you guys next episode. In the meantime, check out hobbyking.com, check out rcgroups.com. If you guys have any questions or comments, emails, please be respectful. All of this is my opinion. The facts I've stated, I will say they're facts, and most of the stuff that I've stated is my opinion. So thanks for your patience, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon on the next one.